Ed Piper, it was Trump. He did that in order to blame Ted Cruz. And he also said, about your father being with having breakfast with Lee Harvey Oswald and all of that stuff. And Ted Cruz fell for it. Ted Cruz did not fight back. Ted Cruz, he said, don't talk about my wife that way. But then he just was a sponge. He just was weak.
None of them were good at responding to his style of attacks, and they didn't even try for many, many weeks. And it was only at the very end when Rubio and a few others tried to copy Trump's style, and it didn't work very well.
It didn't work. No.
Where is the country going, and how long will you live in the past?
Absolutely not. You're my best on this.
I had a friend who was a reporter at the time, and we talked about the coverage and the coverage of the rallies and the things that Trump would say. I'm sorry.
What happened?
Wait.
Oh, here's Jenny.
So can you go back to
Can I just say one thing real quick, Abby, about because you brought up Dave McCormick earlier. Yeah, and it's interesting because in a lot of ways he has some similarities with George H. Bush, and he has that plus like a Trump adaptation, I would say, but they're very, very similar backgrounds.
Really nice guy too, Euro. He's just pleasant and not like.
Well, he's a
have you see him a lot on TV in Philly, but.
Yeah, well, he's a West Point graduate, and he also got an MA and PhD from Princeton. He was a former CEO of Bridgewater, so it's like one of the world's largest hedge funds, and he served in the George W. Bush administration as Undersecretary of the Treasury for National Affairs.
I door knocked for him. I mean, flew back to Philly and went into Montgomery County and door knocked, and people, I mean, that was a very close race. You remember Casey wouldn't, he wouldn't, what do you call it? The concede, thank you. I mean, it was a very close race. But can I go back to the 17? I'm still trying to remember everyone that presented. Remember that debate with Megyn Kelly with the blood in her eyes?
Yeah.
With Trump. So
and blood,
they were
everywhere.
all on stage. I thought that was something.
So you had who did I say? Walker, Santorum. You had Marco Rubio, obviously. You had Rick Perry. You had Rand Paul.
Rick Perry. I forgot about him.
It was the most talented primary field I've ever seen.
Until he couldn't name the different things that he remember. He said there were 5 things he was going to name, and he couldn't remember them, or even 3. It was
3.
That was the
ending. And he could, and the problem was he's the one that brought up the 3, so that makes it really, really bad. It's like I got 3 things I want to change, and they are 1 and 2. Oh, I can't remember the 3rd one. So it's like it just instant loss of credibility, right?
As a Democrat watching, okay, as a Democrat watching, you looked and you said, okay, that's the next Saturday Night Live sketch. You look at them, and
that was really bad.
Same thing. Democrats had the same thing, but it was you looked at that one and said, "Oh, that's going to be on Saturday Night Live. That's it." And that was the end of him.
Yeah,
he made a joke about it. He was very self-deprecating about it as well. So.
Yeah, I mean that one's embarrassing. It's just like you had some vice presidents like that were just really terrible speakers. You had
Dan Quayle.
Yeah, Dan Quayle's the one I was thinking of. I couldn't remember his name. You had Rand Paul, the senator from Kentucky, who ran. Pataki, governor of New York, former governor of New York. Kasich, the governor of Ohio. He would have been an interesting candidate.
I liked Kasich. I just not all of his policies though, but at the end, when we were coming down to the end, I was looking and saying, now which one could I live with? I could live with Kasich. I had some faith in him. So remember, he
Why
also was one who took issue with Trump saying about grabbing women by their genitals or whatever. So
Why Jeb Bush implode and whatever happened to him?
Jeb Bush didn't implode. He just couldn't get. What happened with Jeb Bush is you have to remember. First of all, they had him out there. They had him out there saying he's going to win, he's going to win, he's going to win, and it's in the very beginning. And along comes Trump, and Trump is saying the most outrageous things at his rallies, and the press is that's all they're doing is covering the outrageous.
And also, do you remember, Meryl, the one thing? So first, I think Jeb Bush was a laboratory candidate, right? It's the person you create in a lab, right? Like, oh, this will be the great guy. But do you remember in the debate when he said, it was an early debate, and he said, my brother kept us safe. And Trump says, not on 9/11 he didn't. And that was it. I mean, that was it. I mean, that was the fait accompli, right? I mean,
His brother had nothing to do with 9/11. So,
no, but I mean, it just was a fumble, right? I mean, it was just.
yeah, I know. But,
It was just one of those moments where.
Well, there were two other things about Jeb Bush. He was married to somebody, I believe she was Latin, and he was not hard on immigration.
Fluent Spanish speaker.
We weren't
Fluent
talking about
Spanish, yeah.
Pardon?
I think it just had more to do with the fact that Trump was all over whoever was the favorite at the time.
That's right.
So
That's it.
when Jeb Bush was the favorite, so he would just hammer him so hard that somebody else would become the new number one. And then he would relax his pressure on Bush and go after whoever the new number one is. And he just kept doing that. So
And
they
nobody
kept
was going back. Nobody was
right.
going back.
So Trump was always number two. So it was just a matter of time that Trump would win, you know?
Well, I keep saying it, he sucked the oxygen out of everybody's campaign.
Yeah.
And that's all you were focused on.
But Meryl,
We didn't have investigative reporting in those days. If we had investigative reporting, it would have been different.
Well, the thing is he got the other candidates to also gang up on the number one. So the person that he attacked in the previous